Have you ever felt powerless against the uncontrollable forces of life? Have you been swayed by fleeting emotions or societal pressures into living inauthentically? If so, you're not alone. But the ancient Stoic philosophers had profound insights that can liberate you. In this video, you'll learn 15 Stoic secrets that the most steadfast sages lived by. Secrets that allowed them to cultivate unshakable inner fortitude and live with profound purpose, no matter their circumstances. Let's begin. 1. Practice self-denial. The typical person in modern society is a slave to their impulses and whims. They eat, drink, and indulge themselves into oblivion whenever a desire arises. But the Stoics knew the path to freedom began with self-restraint. By voluntarily practicing small deprivations and discomforts, they fortified their mind against craving pleasure or avoiding difficulty. Embrace fasting, cold showers, or abstaining from trivial comforts. When you deny the lower impulses their power over you, your mind becomes an unshakable fortress. The person who follows their passions like an out-of-control rampage is eternally dependent on circumstances for happiness, but he who restricts and controls his appetites, that person has the greatest liberty of all, inner peace in any situation. 2. Become self-reliant. Most are dependent creatures, constantly seeking validation and approval from others. Their effort, creativity, and zest for life waxes and wanes based on the judgments of the crowd. But the Stoics worked relentlessly to sever their dependence on others' opinions. True contentment, they knew, could only arise from looking inward rather than outward. Become a clean, sturdy vessel that draws its fuel from within, not demanding praise or reassurance to operate. Solitude, resourcefulness, and trusting one's own judgment were prized above all else. When you cease begging for legitimacy from others and stand confident under your own approval, you attain a sense of perfect freedom. No longer cowering or buoyed by the shifting winds of public sentiment, imperturbable and whole. 3. Confront your mortality. From the moment of birth, a death sentence hangs over all our heads. Yet the typical person lives almost as if they will exist forever. But the Stoics seized self-ownership by cultivating a profound awareness of their impermanence. Contemplate death daily. Bring into vivid clarity the unavoidable termination of your existence as you know it. Only by staring this reality square in the eyes and accepting it at your core can you awaken to the preciousness of life. Those who are inflamed by this realization live each moment with profound gratitude, purpose, and intensity. For they recognize their days are few, and there's no time to waste on trivialities or chasing shadows. Embrace the cosmic perspective. 4. Pursue virtue above pleasure. Most are endlessly entangled in shallow pursuits, wealth, power, fame, and fleeting pleasures, like ravenous, hungry ghosts perpetually unsatisfied. But the Stoics restructured their entire value system to derive worth not from these externals, but from the embodiment of virtues. Virtues like integrity, self-discipline, rationality, and humility became their lodestars. Pleasures were enjoyed modestly, as consciously chosen extras. But virtue itself was exalted as life's supreme good, the only inviolable source of lasting fulfillment. When your psyche is realigned toward virtuous character above all else, you're liberated from the rat race and hollow achievements. Only then can you sleep soundly as an unconquered and worthy soul, no matter your worldly status. 5. Accept what you cannot control. How much of our angst and dissatisfaction stems from demanding the world conform to our preferences? We suffer constant frustration by railing against reality itself, wishing circumstances were other than what they are. This is the root of unhappiness. But the Stoics accepted with humility and grace whatever life presented, fundamentally out of their control. They knew their judgments and actions were the only things they could steer. All else was the unfolding of nature's plan to assent to with peaceful surrender. The person who makes peace with what existence allots them, having relinquished the burning fire of resistance, experiences profound tranquility. They alone truly go with the flow of life, undisturbed and empowered to make the best of any situation. 6. Live in agreement with nature. Our modern Western cultures are so thoroughly artificial. Humanity has erected complex, often stifling social structures far removed from nature. We forget we're animals born of the earth. But the Stoics knew only misery arises from living at odds with how we were designed. To realign yourself with the natural order, study the elegant indifference and resilience of the wild, the boulder eroding on the mountainside, the pine relinquishing its needles each fall. These sacred happenings demonstrate unconditional acceptance in the face of external forces. When you too can release attachments, curb cravings, and display non-judgment like nature, you'll find yourself in perfect resonance with the deepest currents of existence itself, united with reality rather than fighting against the stream of life. 7. Subtract to add. In our consumption-crazed society, the drive is always to accumulate and indulge. More stuff, more entertainment, more stimulation. Yet within this infinite growth model lie anxiety, emptiness, and soul sickness. For the Stoics, the key was subtractive, not additive. Routinely practice making the utmost use of extremely little. Reduce, simplify, renounce. Spend days or weeks removing every superfluous thing from your environment and routine. Eliminate those which burdens, enslaves, or distracts you from what really matters. Through calculated periods of voluntary poverty of spirit, you deepen your gratitude and contentment. Your spirit finds peace in few possessions and experiences not many. Only then can lasting joys become accessible. As Seneca wrote, "The great blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach." 8. Practice misfortune. One of the bizarre Stoic techniques was training to endure difficult circumstances, not just when they occurred, but routinely without prompting. They'd go homeless for a night, embrace hunger, or wear scratchy clothing, choosing their own ordeals. Why? Because he who becomes comfortable with hardship can never be tossed off balance when adversity arises. The Stoics knew that perfecting the art of frugality and resilience during the good times generates unshakable equanimity in the bad. Imagine undergoing a voluntary boot camp of self-imposed ill fortune. Once you emerge self-mastered, any external pains life brings seem convenient rather than tragic. You become that rare breed who grows stronger through challenges. 9. Eliminate judgments. Our minds harbor a constant stream of judgments of others, criticism, condemnation, projections of motive. While sometimes practical, these tendencies lead us into delusion. For the Stoics to progress, this practice had to be relinquished. Radically monitor your consciousness for judgmental impulses, then relax them. Assume naive, non-judgmental perception. When encountering the words and actions of other humans, receive them as value-neutral data, free of inner commentary or moral labeling. In this way, you short-circuit reacting from cynicism, anger, or hostility. You'll find yourself more unburdened, poised and capable of engaging reality with clarity versus needless bias. With ego deflation comes liberation from so much inner conflict. 10. Align with the Logos. The Stoics saw humanity as part of a grand cosmic unfolding, an intelligent universal system or Logos that pervades all things. To live virtuously was to harmonize your individual will with the infinitely wise logic of the cosmos itself. Embodying this worldview brings profound humility and trust, a realization that despite surface chaos, there's an unfurling order to events orchestrated by a supreme intelligence we're embedded within, not separate from. All happens by reasoned design, not random cruelty. When you attune yourself to this universal flow, synchronizing your intentions with the higher purposes of nature, Logos, you become liberated from distress, fear, and the smallness of self-absorption, a sacred partnership with the movements of the divine whole. 11. Decouple from reputation. Our reputation, that ever-present preoccupation for most on this earthly plane. We tirelessly preen and manipulate, consumed by appearances and fleeting opinions of the crowd. But the Stoics had another way. They knew fixation on outward reputation and external validation was a trap. Only by decoupling one's self-worth from public perception could true freedom be attained. To prize virtue, reason, and peace of mind over fickle praise from the masses, Imagine shrugging off the never-ending quest to be liked, admired, or respected, to cease filtering your words and actions through the lens of how you'll be judged. When you no longer rely on accolades or dread criticism, you become truly unchained, guided by your deepest values, not the winds of reputation. 12. Eliminate the non-essential. Our minds and lives today are chronically overstuffed, crammed with trivialities, possessions, and commitments that drain our core potency. We're a bloated, busy lot pulled in 1,000 fruitless directions. The Stoics taught a method to strip life down to its essentials. Start with your thoughts. Become a diligent editor, ruthlessly eliminating mental clutter, worries, complexities, distractions, and noise. Pare back to only what's vital and meaningful at your deepest level. A pristine stream of clarity displaced all stagnant thought sludge. Then turn to your external circumstances, your obligations, relationships, belongings, inputs. Discard, reduce, simplify with a monastic's devotion until only the barest level of material and commitments required for right living remain. You now glide through existence like a camouflaged ghost, unseen, unburdened, and free. With constant practice of this art of elimination, you become nearly frictionless and immune to entanglement, only attending to what's unbreakably true, vital, and sacred. This is true lightness of being and incorruptible focus. The most powerful aspect of Stoicism was its functionality. It wasn't merely rhetorical philosophizing, but a comprehensive toolkit for thriving amidst whatever circumstances one faced. From attitudes to adjust, specific practices to adopt, all the way down to prescriptions for reviewing one's day and orienting oneself cosmically. 13. Perseverance and persistence. The Stoics knew that the path of virtue and reason was an arduous one, requiring steadfast perseverance. The human soul does not shake off its vices and weaknesses easily. Unwavering persistence is key. They taught that nothing great is created suddenly. A puddle can be made with a splash, but not a Grand Canyon. Only by applying relentless effort, sustained over years through inevitable setbacks and obstacles, can lasting excellence be forged within oneself. Imagine cultivating a reserve of grit, powered by your philosophical convictions. No matter what opposition life throws your way, you remain unswerving in your goals and practices. You develop the ability to labor in the esteemed service of reason and right action with infinite persistence. This heroic perseverance is what separated the Stoic sage from the unenlightened masses. 14. Openness to learning. While the Stoics had firm philosophical foundations, they were not rigid dogmatists. An underlying openness and commitment to truth allowed them to constantly expand their wisdom. They saw life itself as an endless process of learning and growth. In their view, to be a student of nature's unfolding laws was the highest calling. By maintaining a posture of humility and eroding arrogance daily, fresh insights could continually be absorbed. The wise person welcomed new observations that expanded their understanding, rather than clinging to preconceptions. Envision greeting every experience, person, and circumstance in this spirit, with a readiness to gain new knowledge. No judgment, conceit, or emotional reactivity impedes clear perception. You remain open, curious, eager to evolve. Only then can the depths of life's teachings truly be metabolized and your mind ceaselessly enriched. 15. Change and adaptability. For the Stoics, nothing was more fundamental than accepting reality as it manifests, not as we wish it to be. This meant neither resisting the perpetual flux inherent in existence, nor blindly forcing their will onto circumstances. They taught that the wise course was to adapt oneself to the ever-changing terrain of life through reasoned flexibility. Just as a reed bends in a storm to avoid snapping, so too must the human shift and adjust their approach in alignment with the present reality before them. Imagine maintaining perfect adaptability, constantly reassessing behaviors and strategies based on new emerging conditions, holding no rigidity, only an intent to operate from virtue and wisdom in each passing moment. With an open, malleable stance like this, stagnation and obstinance are avoided. You remain thrillingly alive, creatively evolving to any unexpected twist of fortune. In essence, the capacities for perseverance, being a perpetual learner, and embodying radical adaptability were all part of the prime Stoic directive: to live life in accordance with reason and natural laws, come what may. With these traits arming the philosophical warrior, no depth of wisdom or height of virtue was unattainable. By diligently applying the 15 secrets revealed here, the ancient path of the philosophical life is opened. You become spiritually resilient, clear-minded, and firmly rooted in your highest values, increasingly impervious to harmful externalities and mistaken cultural programming. The potential now arises to navigate modern complexities and uncertainties with sublime awareness and intention, to prioritize what genuinely matters over hollow pursuits, to be satisfied and at peace regardless of one's circumstances or what dramas swirl around you. This is the noble legacy of Stoic mastery, the forging of an unconquerable mind sculpture within, one radically reattuned to the natural forces undergirding existence itself, a purified vessel no longer at the mercy of falsehoods, able to flow with equanimity wherever fate leads, an awakening to life's deepest harmonies. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.